Hey everyone, it is Friday. Another week has come and gone. I cannot believe this month is just flying by so quickly. All right, let's jump into it. So, on my calls, feedback I heard from you guys was you were all pretty much on Monday's goal setting webinar. And if you were not on Monday's goal setting webinar, then you had plans to watch Monday's goal setting webinar. So I had a chance to catch up on it and to jump into the goal setting webinar. And so I wanted to share a couple of thoughts about that because, it's funny how December and, tail end of November is super rush to the finish. Let's get it out. Let's get things going. Let's get our business plans in line. Let's get everything going so that we can prepare for 2023. And so as we were kind of going through the goal setting, webinar that we did with Tom, it brought me to this reflection point. And I'm thinking about this because one of the things that we often think about in business is we're so often challenged with, what is it that I'm doing in my business? How many calls am I making? How many deals do I need to do? How much money do I want to make? And the goal setting webinar, I felt really hit home because even when we're on our coaching calls, for the most part of it, we're talking about strategy. We're talking about, what is it that we can do to help our businesses move forward, to help us advance, to help us, get more clients, get more leads, get out in front of more people. Yet this was one of the things that hit home. And so as I was doing it and I'm thinking, where was I 5 years ago? And what position was I in 5 years ago, where I look at myself now and I realize, holy crap, I've actually accomplished a lot in the last 5 years. And believe me, when I think about all of the goal setting that I've done, because I've been a coach for the last 7 years and I've trained a bunch of agents, and when Tom was adding up his coaching hours, I did the same thing myself, and I've probably gotten I've gotten about 13,000 some odd coaching hours under my belt over the last 7 years. And I'm just thinking, one of the things that I've never done in goal setting to this day was actually go back 5 years ago. And that was a super point of introspection because it allowed me to realize, wait, what have I already accomplished? And when you put yourself in the frame of mind to say, hey, look what I've already been able to achieve, and that puts you in the mindset of, if I've already been able to achieve this, look at what I can create. Look where I can go in the future. That actually creates limitless potentials. And as I was English correction. When I was on some of the calls, and I had a call with every single person this week, it was incredible because I heard a lot of success stories, and I heard a lot of people share with me some of the transformation that you've experienced through coaching, some of the benefits that you felt, some of the ways that you were able to look back on your business and say, I see how things are changing. I see how things are transforming, and I see how I'm looking at my business from a different light. And when I hear these things, it makes me realize, wow, we have accomplished so much. And so when we look at your weekly tracker, there's a 100% intention behind why your wins are on your weekly tracker. And it's because I want you to be able to see front and center every single win that you accomplish. So I want to challenge each and every one of you for one thing. Number one, when you submit your win on your pre-call sheet, don't make it about a listing or a transaction that you've just gotten. Now, obviously, if you've been hunting for a listing and a transaction for a really long time, that's fine. I want to celebrate that because I know we've been working really hard to try and get those deals done. Yet, when every week becomes about a new listing or a new transaction and a new listing and a new transaction, then it kind of becomes repetitive and it becomes dull. So let's just switch things up. Let's think about the macro. Let's think about the bigger picture. What is a win that we can put into place? So I want to get you guys talking and really thinking. And if you can't think about that, why don't you think about someone that inspires you? Something different. Let's think outside the box. So now going back to the goal setting workshop, it really allows you to connect with who you want to be in the future. And I had a couple conversations in the past about that 10-year letter. And it's really interesting because I had a conversation this week about saying, that 10 or 20-year letter, you just kind of tuck it away and don't look at it. And it's funny because Tom said, look at it every week. And that really hit home for me in the sense that when you look at it every week, it reminds you why you do what you do. Because within every single individual, every single person, there is a bigger purpose to all of this. There is a reason that we wake up every single morning and decide, hey, I'm gonna make my calls, I'm gonna make my contacts, I'm gonna get out in front of people. Because there are days where we're feeling like shit and we don't feel like doing. And between you and me, we'll have a conversation. I had my office's Christmas party yesterday, and I had employees that didn't feel like coming in today because they're feeling like shit today. So there will be days where we feel like shit and we just don't feel like making our calls. We don't feel like making our contacts. We don't want to go to the open, we don't want to go to the networking events that we had planned. And you know what? There will be a Saturday or Sunday where we wake up in the morning and we're like, you know what? It is so nice outside. I want to go play a round of golf and I do not want to do that open house. In all those moments, I want you to pull out that 10-year letter and I want you to read that and understand that going to that open house, making those calls, making those contacts, that is what's going to help you realize that 10-year letter. And what you're going to notice is that you will start accomplishing things a lot quicker than you had actually anticipated, because it's the power of visualization. It's the power of putting things forward where you thought that maybe things might not have been 100% possible. So if you haven't yet checked out that goal setting workshop, guys, I'm actually going to go out on a limb here. It's a coaching non-negotiable. I want you guys to sit in on that workshop. It is an hour of time. If I have to negotiate with you on that, I will say play it in 1.5 at least, just to get it done. Print out the workbook, work with me in it to be able to see what are the things that you want to implement. What is that one thing that you're likely to put in your business that is going to cause that ripple effect? And there's one thing that Tom said, and I want to talk to you guys each individually about that on your calls. And that question for you is, I want you to think about that one thing, that one big priority that's going to create that domino effect, where when you knock out that first domino will cause each additional domino to continue falling to make everything else easier for you. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was a point of reflection. I'm super excited to be able to connect with you guys on the following week. I hope you guys have an awesome week ahead, an awesome weekend ahead, and we will talk to you guys real soon.